Hey grade 11s, so as promised, here is my tutorial on how to use Zotero. Just in case you wanted to know how to spell Zotero, there it is, Z-O-T-E-R-O. So go and look it up online, download it. You will need to download it to your computer, and then you will need to download it as an extension to your web browser. So all the instructions for that should be on the Zotero website. And then once you have done that, you can actually pull up Zotero. Now yours is going to be empty, but I'm showing you mine. So this is mine. This is my Zotero. You'll notice on the side here, I've set up, these are all my courses that I've taken, or sometimes like this one here is a presentation that I have to do. This is a literature review that I had to do. So I've broken it down sometimes in classes and then sometimes in assignments. So you need to figure out how you want to organize that based on what you need. I think for this assignment, you could probably just create your own folder and call it like rule of law assignment. I'll just, rule of law and hit. I'll put assignment. And there it is. So now I've got a rule of law assignment. There are a few other setup stuff that you will need to do. Like you'll need to pick APA and you'll need to do a bunch of other things. But when you first open up Zotero in the beginning, it should ask you all those questions. And if it doesn't, it'll ask you those questions when you begin to work in it. So let's begin to work in it. So now we've got our folder set up. And that means that we're going to curate all our sources in this section here. All right, so we have to go and look it up. So let's head off to our web browser. So my mouse is stuck. There it is. Okay. All right, so let's now go to the web browser. Here we go. So when you move off to college or university, make sure you're using their libraries because you know that all those sources for the most part are legitimate and useful. And if you can't find what you're looking for there, which would be shocking, you can always go here to Google Scholar. There we go. And click on Google Scholar because you'll know the articles here are okay. I'm going to change my search to include anything from 2021. And then there's a bunch of articles here. These are great. If they have a little PDF on the side, that means you can access the article right away. This guy here, rule of law and carbon 2 emissions, this doesn't have a little icon here, which means that you can't pull up the whole article. You could probably just pull up the snippet at the beginning. So I'm going to find one that I can actually use so that we can come up with an example. So if I click on this, it'll take me to the actual article, or in this case, it's a book. I can download it here. And then I'm going to go, because I've added this Zotero to my bar at the top. See where it says save to Zotero. I'm going to click on it. And since rule of law was the last folder I created, it does come up as rule of law. And automatically, without really even clicking anything, it puts the rule of law back into my folder. So now it's here. So now I've got, and it does it all for me. It gets all the information. So the name of the author, it has the abstract here, where it was published, when it was published. So all the important stuff that you need, that is right there. Okay, so let's go back and find another article because we've now read this article and it's great. We're going to use it. And let's just find another one. Sure, let's do this. Rule of law, law-based governance, and housing and prices. Let's just use that one. Here we go. So this is a proper article, has an abstract and everything. So abstracts are really good because it kind of gives you a big snippet of what the whole article is going to be about. Read that, and if it doesn't pertain to you, find another one, right? But this one, let's say it does pertain to us. So we are going to go back to the top. we're going to find our Save to Zotero page. We're going to click on it, and hopefully it's going to make a liar out of me. I didn't like how it downloaded. Let's find another one. Let's do this one. I'm cheating, but well, let me log in here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So this one actually comes from the UOIT library. And so I logged into the library, and here it is. So now I can definitely do this one. So there it is, rule of law assignment. It's fully there. And then if I go back to Zotero, voila, it is right there, right? With all the important information, okay? All right, now this is great, and it's time to start working on your actual assignment. So let's head over to our Word document, and in our Word document, we are going to write great paragraphs about the rule of law. Okay. Now, one of our sources said this. They predicted this was going to happen. So I'm going to add a source here. So this source, I'm going to add, I'm going to go up to the top here where it says Zotero. I'm going to click add/edit citations. And while this screen is not on your screen, it does ask me what the next screen, which is on my other screen that you can't see, it does ask me what, here I'm going to pull it over. Here, this is what it says. So it asks me what kind of style I want. All right, so you guys want the 7th edition of APA, but if another teacher asks you for another type, then they're all in here. Chicago style, MLA style, stuff that you have never even heard of before, it's all here. So you hit OK, and this comes up too. Ooh. Oh, here it is. Okay, sorry. It's all popping up on my other screen. So you're going to put the name of the author you want. So one of the author's name is Andy, H-O, here it is, all right? And so I start putting in the name. Oh, this is the one I want. It's highlighted in blue. I'm gonna hit enter. It formats it properly for me, and I hit enter again, and voila, it's in there, okay? Now I'm gonna do another sentence about rule of law, and I got to source this guy too. So I'm going to go and I'm going to use the other one, which I got to figure out what that guy's name is. And I just go back, add and edit citation. This little red bar comes up, and this one's name, Marcelo, I believe. Marcelo something. Yeah, this guy here. So there he is, and I hit enter, and there it is. Okay, so I do that all the way through with all my sources, right? Now, at the end, we have to have a reference page. So I probably should have hit new page, but I didn't. I'm just going to, here we go. So we're in a new page because all your reference pages need to be on the new page. And you're going to add/edit the bibliography. And there it is. So it literally is one click. So what that is doing is it's taking all the sources from the assignment you have just written, right? So if you've used 20 sources, it will take all those sources and properly format it for you and put it in the right order to make it look like this. And then you don't really have to worry about figuring out what order things need to be, where, where a comma should be. I would say though, the only thing I would double check is when you're actually in Zotero that sometimes they don't put in all the authors. So you may need to just double check that you got all the authors. And when you get into college and university, they will be looking for that. Sometimes they don't have, the date's not there, but it's really easy to find a date when an article is produced. So you just add in the date. So there are some key parts that sometimes Zotero just doesn't pick up on. So you just want to double check to make sure you've got everything. before you start creating your Word document and putting in your sources. And then that is it. So a little bit of work in the beginning to kind of figure out how to use it. But once you've figured out how to use it, then because it becomes a tool that saves you a ton of time. So I would recommend using this one. There are other source software that you can use. I just find this one the easiest. But you could do a little bit of research if you wanted to see if there wasn't a one that kind of works with your learning style better. All right, probably a little longer than you wanted, but play it on faster speed and I'm sure it'll be fine. See you guys.